Hello everyone, how's it going? It is today. It is I do believe it is it is Thursday. Hey. I get a little closer on that camera. How is everyone doing? Um Tonight the plan here is Paper Mario Randomizer. Starting a little bit later than I planned. Some technical things came up, and I'll tell you right before I hit go, like OBS was having trouble just displaying the preview image properly at a good frame rate, which really had me concerned, especially because I monkeyed around a little in the task manager, gave it real-time priority because I need it to run good. I also need the game to run good and not to like stutter on the audio, so there's multiple things here that all need to run good. I hope I'll tell you, there's a little more than we had like the last couple of times we did Paper Mario since the last time I did Paper Mario. I had the whole throwing things at me, which is another application that I guess, the computer has to run at the same time. A little bit concerning on that end. Let me move the microphone a little closer. That's probably a good idea. The couch, when I sit on it, sometimes it slides back a little bit, I think. Every time I sit down or so. It moves a bit as a result. Just a bit, though. Right then, before I get into talking about what exactly this run is gonna look at, like what exactly the setup is, I say run the seed. I never know what to call a playthrough of a randomizer, considering that it's not like, it's not like it's a official thing. It's a setup that I made myself. I say official. It's not like no one else is gonna run this particular seed, this particular setup. Probably, maybe. I mean, they could. If you want me to give you my seeds for whatever reason, I could do that. Tangents. Ate them. Okay. Let me just say one thing before we start, and I'll do it via a card. There were some hotkey issues last time. I have done some rework with the dockets and also the card system, such that they are now using hotkeys that are like specifically that the Stream Deck can handle, like passing directly to the OBS. Basically, on the Stream Deck, there's like a application that I use, or plugin, tools, whatever the fuck. But they don't handle anything that is like modified by a shift properly. So like my previous commands were like control shift period to bring up a card, and that doesn't work. It resolves to control shift whatever is on that key on the keyboard and gets all screwy, so I had to switch it to one that used a letter instead. I know this is all very interesting, you don't have to concern yourself. Point is, I have changed a bunch of hotkeys to be like usable now, and also with the dockets, it is like for the most part now entirely not hotkey based. Instead, just uses the Stream Deck directly to set things. So I can do like this. So yeah, look at that. It just came up. It just came up perfectly. And I can hide it as well. Look at that. The emotes are a little fiddly, I'll say. The animated emotes seem to be like disappearing a little too fast for my taste and reappearing. They're a little weird like that, the animated emotes, unfortunately. But other than that, they can... Actually, it's perfectly fine when you're switching back and forth between them. It's just weird when you're, like, doing the hide docket. I should check and see if there's a reason for that, because it looks fine just going, like, from here to there. Well, a little bit of flicker. Whatever, it's not that important, I guess. It just, was, I'll tell you, it was a little bit of a hassle to get working properly because one thing that's weird about the Stream Deck is that when you set up multi-actions, they come with a delay between actions. And at minimum, it's like 2 milliseconds, which is like, doesn't seem like that much, but apparently it adds up, and if you just have them in whatever order you please, things are going to be like, sort of, it's going to look like they're cascading, you know, just going from like first to last, disappearing in order, which is weird. You don't want that. But all that to say that the issues that happened last time with playing a game on a PC, had in time specifically, and also controlling the stream with the Stream Deck, shouldn't happen again. Now, tonight, we'll have all new issues relating to, you know, doing like OBS, a very demanding emulator, and, you know, like a handful of other things like live splits. Did someone say a hat in time? Asked Bingo. Yes, I did say a hat in time. That's my Monday stream right now. See there on the schedule? That's what it says. Mondays, 8 p.m. Centrals. That's right, Bingo. That is what I said. Oh, and I was going to say later in the stream, but next week I'm thinking Majora's Mask. I am still going to say it later in the stream. The randomizer thereof for next Thursday. Congrats, better fight some Mafia men. I did that last time. That's done for the most part. There might be a few more of them. I don't know. I think there's a few more missions left in that chapter. Where's my controller? That's all I wanted to say up front. Didn't have that much to say up front here tonight. With that, before we get going, let me tell you what's going on here. How this randomizer is set up tonight. So this is the Power Star Hunt mode, which is a relatively new mode in the Paper Mario Randomizer, and basically it adds like a number of power stars to the game and makes the clear condition, makes the victory condition, makes it the goal, makes the objective to collect a certain number of them. I have put 120 stars in the game. I have to collect 70 of them. Just like in, Mario, right? Just like in Mario 64 or whatever the fuck. I think also Galaxy and Sunshine didn't work that way. It wasn't a number of shines you were working up towards, One of the missions in Mafia Town is brutal without a late game item. Yeah, I've heard that some things are harder if you do things like, not try to do things in order, or impossible. We'll adjust going forward on those Monday streams. Anyway, so, trying out that mode. Otherwise, the settings are pretty much my normal stuff. That is to say, it's somewhat casual. I'm starting with maximum stats. I'm starting with a couple of very useful items. My favorite one, specifically the power pluses, and also pump attack. Which makes it so very easy for me to just tear around the game and just focus on collecting items and figuring out where I can go next, which I think is very interesting and fun, and makes for a very fast playthrough. Also, I am hammerless. Also, I am jumpless. And shop sanity is on. Items can be in shops. Key sanity is on. Items can be in. The keys can be anywhere in the world. And we're starting with one random partner. I don't know who. And what else is there to say? There's traps. Dungeon entrances are not randomized tonight. There's a couple of things that are open and a couple of things that are closed to start. I think we'll just go in. And also, I put a timer now. So I'm gonna have the timer going so we can look at that and go, isn't that interesting? That's how much time it took to finish it, which I haven't done before because I've always forgotten or not given it any thought. But this time I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and get into it. You know what? I'm gonna first grab up my water, which I left on the kitchen counter before I started. I'm gonna refill it, and bring it over, and then I'll start the timer so that we're not wasting time at any point when I get thirsty. Sunshine technically required you to grab at least 49 shines. Oh, I guess that's true. Is that including, like, skips? Because there are cases where you can, like, skip ahead by, like, grabbing a shine that's later on and then going back to the Mario Shadow level. I'm gonna go get my drink and then we'll start. 2 seconds. You just mean grabbing the first 7 shines of the 7 main stages. Well, there's also the first shine on the landing strip, right? So I think the minimum is a little higher than that, in theory. But also you can skip some by like collecting a later shrine that you're not supposed to, and then doubling back. All right. Let's see now. Let's get into it. I'm gonna hit go. I'm gonna hit the space bar on this tracker. I just realized I'm gonna pull up the Stream Deck and real quick map something to spacebar so that I can use spacebar without a keyboard at the couch. I don't have a keyboard at the couch anymore since I got the Stream Deck. I didn't think of that. Whoops. Okay, 1 second. Hotkey. I can't type. Okay, you know what? It doesn't matter. I just have to click here. And where is space? Here is space. I'm just setting up the thing on the on Stream Deck thing, so it looks good. Should it be colored? I don't know. What color is space? Gray. Okay, that'll do. Let's start. Hitting the timer. I'm gonna try to. Whoa. Right, I forgot. I have to put in a name. Okay. Okay. Once I hit OK, then I hit space. Okay. Starting now. God damn it. Okay. 1. How do I reset? Okay, there we go. Yeah, you might hear some weird stuff. I'm just switching windows, and that's apparently when you have RetroArch like selected, like prioritized, it gets a little like framey. I don't know why on my machine. Go figure. I'm gonna hit A. And I'm going to space, same time. Okay, cool. Also, by the way, the music is randomized as well. That's probably important. We got Cooper. Let's go outside and see what's up. Yeah, so the music is randomized. I went with like randomization by mood, so it all should be like correct. Oh, also by the way, there's not like a there's nowhere on the tracker that like tracks the amount of stars that we have, power stars, but we need 70 of them. I wouldn't mind having like a field for it. I did check in the like Discord for Paper Mario beforehand. Name me 4 U.S. states that start with the letter I. Idaho, Illinois. I'm gonna focus on the key items here for now. We can wrap around to these at the end if we need. Spike shield is always good. I said Idaho, Illinois, Indiana. Or is that a city? And at top of my head, I don't know. What's the 4th one? So we don't have any jump, we don't have anything. We need seeds to get in there. What can we do right now? Well, we can talk to this guy just to make sure that he's going inside for later. Once we get, like, double boots. You know, 2 installments of boots. I don't think there's anything we can do over by the Star Spirit way. We can maybe go out here and pay off the guy. I'm not sure I'm big into the music randomization. I was sort of like, whoops. I feel like I was talked into it a little bit by the during the Mario Maker thing during GDQ yesterday, during the Mario Maker, like, during the Mario Maker run, or not Mario Maker, geez, Majora's Mask Randomizer run, they talked about how their randomizer has randomized music, and it can be any music from any game. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't mess with that. You know, I was thinking when I was watching that, like, well, I like the music, though, is the thing. And I do like the music. There's a hammer. That's well-timed, because we just, you know what we need right now? It's a hammer. That's pretty nice. Look at that. I like the music. That's the default music, so this is, by comparison, maybe a mite bit weird. You know, a mite bit off. It doesn't really fit as well as I perhaps thought. Anyway, let me stop being distracted by that and just play the game. So we got hammer now. What does hammer let us do? Well, let's what does it let us do? We can hit trees. I will say one more thing that's disabled. Foliage coins are disabled. Last time I played, the foliage coins were sort of a sore spot for me for that run, for that thing. Hey, thank you for the follow. Baby Clam Mirabelle. Thank you. Hello. The foliage coins, since they had changed it a little bit since the previous time I had played, there was like, I think the boots, or the hammer. Speaking of boots and hammer, fucking hell. There's our boots. We can go a lot more places now, as a result. The boots, or like the hammer. The first hammer upgrade was in a shrub that I just didn't know was added to the item pool, and that really threw me. You did magnet fishing today? You found lots? What exactly is magnet fishing? I don't know what that is. Mystery mode has... I don't think I want any of this. I'm not really a power bounce guy myself. Not so much. I like the one that just penetrates defense more. And just going for lots of power. You know, for regular attacks. And then anything fancy. Also, Chet Ripto is in logic, so... Now that we can jump, why don't we just go, do Chet Ripto real fast. Oh, hey, there's a power star. That's like our second one? Yes. I'll say, for the power stars, I don't know how long it'll take to get up to 70. 3. But, 4. But, you know, I'm hoping it takes like a couple of hours. Something that's normal for pull stone! Something that's normal for like a, Thursday afternoon, stream. You have a neodymium magnet you put on a rope, you throw it in the water, and then pull up anything magnetic. Possibly bring it up and catch, some stuff. Huh. Like what kind of water? Just like lakes and shit? Alright. We got some good stuff out of that. Lakes, canals, lots of stuff. Like creeks, maybe. That's neat. Huh. I've never heard tell of that. No. As for things that are open, Chapter 4 is not open. We need to get Boo to get into Chapter 4. Whale is open. We can go to Whale right now. If we so pleased. What else is open? The bricks going to Chapter 8 are there and visible. So long as you can get to there. You know, get to that area. You can go to Chapter 8. Is it Chapter 8? No, it's Chapter 7, isn't it? The ice chapter. We need seeds to get into Chapter 6. We're going to Chapter 5 right now. Chapter 4, we need Boo. We need Bow. We can go to Chapter 3, but we won't get very far without the Portrait Ghost. Chapter 2, we need Bombette. Or access to, like, the back door. And Chapter 1... Do we have everything we need for Chapter 1, just about? We have Cooper. That's just about all you need, actually. Maybe we should head to Chapter 1, rather than, fuck around here. That maybe would be a good idea. Still, while we're here, might as well, check stuff. Super Boots! Oh, I hope that's not a trap. Nope, it's real. It's Super Boots. God damn. I'll say that tiles are not in the item pool just because, you know, I don't want to have to like pass up tiles for hours and hours until such time as you know, I get those boots. But I still think they give us some. They must give us some stuff, even if we done a thing. Also, I thought I turned Polia's coins off. So, why the fuck are there stars in these trees? That's... I thought, Well, I ought to check the goddamn other trees just so I don't end up with a situation like last time. Whatever. That's fine. You know what? I can hit some trees with my hammer. You ever found is bombs and rockets and guns? God. That does seem like a hell of a thing to find in a body of water. D up, D down. P down, D up, the other way. Let's see now. There's 2 stars. We are just kind of swimming these stars. Like, how many are we at now? Is this gonna be too fast? We're like 10 of 70. And we're like a couple of minutes. We're like 10 minutes in. Jeez. Time flies, I guess. I totally thought we were like 5 minutes in, 2 minutes in. That's the Starstone. That's pretty good. That's not the Starstone. The Starstone is over here. Like I said, I have no idea like how many stars constitutes a good amount to find, but we'll figure it out. Some people find bikes using that method. Damn, that seems, that's quite a big thing to find. Just randomly. God damn, we're getting a lot of these. I guess the thing is, there's 120 of them, So that's like far more than any other object in the game. You know, except for maybe coins. Maybe. Like, I don't know how many star pieces. You know what? I know how many star pieces there are. It's on the tracker sometime. It's like 96. So, there's more stars than there are star pieces. So, yeah. Boots! Ultra boots. I love this. Oh my god, we got the ultra boots so fucking fast. You found a cigarette lighter and a remote control submarine and a gas canister? That seems like a lot of stuff to find. People are throwing away a lot of shit, huh? Let me talk about a thing before the stream ends because we hit all 70 stars. Well, I will have to fight Bowser once I do that, and hell. You know, I'd like to have another partner before I do that. I've been watching SGDQ 2023. Mentioned last time, I watched a couple of runs on Sunday. You know, the ones from the first round of the marathon. Specifically, I watched what was on Sunday? There was jeez, what the fuck was on Sunday again? It's been a minute. I forget what I watched on Sunday, actually. God damn it. I enjoyed it well enough, but like yesterday was like the big night for the SGDQ for me because it had like first off there was Hitman, which was pretty exciting. Seemed like a pretty good. You watched Light on Sunday. What? Okay. There was Hitman, which was the new mode, which seemed really good. Like, they really like burned through that extremely fast. Like, goddamn, that's impressive. I kind of missed a bunch of it because I got like caught up with some Mario making I was doing, but I did see like a good 10 minutes of it, and what I saw was damn impressive. Later on, there was the Majora's Mask randomizer, which they were using the Blitz mode settings, which turns out look pretty good. I'll just get this out of the way now, what the next card says. Majora's Mask randomizer next Thursday. I want to try out those Blitz rules. They seem like pretty doable. They seem pretty doable, and they make things like relatively fast, I think. In a way that should help me out, you know. So long as there's like relatively few cases where I have to take notes and remember where things are, which seems like it's the case. You know, it seems like there's just a handful of those items with those settings, which sounds good to me. It also like takes out a bunch of annoying things to check, which, you know, hey, you know, doing that work for me sounds great. I don't have to figure out what I need to do. I just need to pull up those rules and go from there. So that'll be next Thursday's stream. Anyway, that was a fun thing. After that was Odyssey, which is a lot glitchier than the last time I saw. They go out of bounds. They do a lot of goofy ass stuff. It was a really good run. Then after that was this game right here, Paper Mario. There was not a randomizer this time, but any percent run was quite nice to watch. I've always liked the Paper Mario runs at GDQs. It's kind of my favorite speed game, I think, in just so far as like how like to do the various categories they have to route the game in so much interesting ways, you know, and do things in such weird and wacky orders. I love it how it all works. When I first found the randomizer, I kind of felt that it's kind of the same way, you know. It takes a game I know front to back and just mixes it up in random order. That's fantastic. I love it. I will say, of GDQ, I don't like pay full attention so much. Where does Mountain keep her clothes to dry? On a cliffhanger. Oh, that's a good joke, baby. I will say I don't pay as close attention to GDQ as I, you know, did when I first found the marathon like nearly 10 years ago now. Jesus. But, you know, I still enjoy a run now and again, and, you know, even if I'm like, while I'm watching, playing Zelda, doing some Mario, other such things, I still very much enjoy watching the dang thing, and yeah, they're good. One other piece of SGDQ business is that a little furthermore follow-up on the Yetis. I showed off these last time, and the shirts from the Yeti, and said which ones I bought. Well, I decided after that stream to buy one more, the Envy Machine, and I have indeed now bought it. I couldn't like cancel the previous order or nothing, but I just added on the Envy Machine as a separate one. It turns out if it's just one shirt, the shipping is like $5 instead of 15. So I guess it scales up with the number of shirts you order anyway. Whatever, it's fine. I also, if you're wondering, I bought the Ancient Mask, I bought the Bugsnax one, I bought the Mario one. Let me move some of the stuff I have around. Oh yeah, I bought the Samus one and the Celeste one as well. And I think that's it, right? Let me see. Yeah, that was it for me. Good lineup this year. Bought a lot of shirts. I'll say it helps that I don't buy so many shirts like from the Yeti like on a regular basis since I've not had Twitter for a while. So these will be my first Yetis in like some time. Have you played Donkey Kong 64? Yeah, I played tons of DK64. I played it as a kid, and I've also recently got into the randomizer, which I think really breathes new life into that game. Really breathes new life into that game. Wait, is it? It's left, right, middle, isn't it? That was not the order. There's a couple more runs I'm looking forward to seeing. You know, most of them I think are just on the Saturday. You know, like there's the Mario Maker. There's some Breath of the Wild stream, but I'm kind of unsure like how, you know, how much I really want to see that, considering like, yeah, I don't know yet how I feel about Breath of the Wild in a post like, ooh, Super Hammer. In a post Tears of the Kingdom world, you know? Like, it's still a great game, but yeah, Tears of the Kingdom really blows it out the water, and I would love to see a Tears of the Kingdom run, but that'll have to wait until, like, you know, it's been like more than a couple weeks. I didn't realize it was this early this year. Initially, when I was thinking like, why don't you think it'll be on SGDQ? But it's way too early right now for Tears. Honestly, I don't think people would want to see a Tears of the Kingdom speedrun right now, because, you know, they'd be spoiled. If it was like a couple months later, right, I could see it like some like some minor event, right? Like they do a couple events throughout the year that are not the main events. I could see one of those having the thing. Oh, and by the way, favorite Kong? Lanky Kong, I will say, of the DK64 Kongs. Love the Donkey Kong Country series. Kind of the first games I got into, actually. Donkey Kong? No, Donkey Kong is, yes. Neither is Lanky. Lanky is not the leader of the bunch. I wonder how this works, like, logically. Like, is it logical that you can get every star? But I only need like 70 to finish, so will it be only logical that I you know, for those 70? Something I wonder about. He's back to kick some tail. Yes, that's right. They're the lyrics of the DK rap. I do know those lyrics well. New York. Oh, also one more thing that's randomized. The layouts. The layouts. The like enemy. Whatchamacallits, the groupings, the formations. So when we get into a fight, the guys might be in a random formation. I'll tell you, baby. I love DKC, the series. DKC was like my first game. My first, what I started with back in the SNES era. Well, it was kind of at that point. It was like 1996, 1997. So the N64 was out, but I started with a SNES. Just really fell in love with DKC 1 and all this whole series, you know, for a few years until I got until I got N64, like winter of like 1998 with Banjo-Kazooie, of course, which, you know, phenomenal game as well. Until I got that, it was pretty much just for those first few years, just those 3 games and like Mario Kart and some shit, you know. But for the most part, those were all the games I had for the first couple of years of me gaming. And those, you know, DKC 2 is still like my all-time, tied for all-time favorite with Odyssey. I didn't just get something, did I? I hope I didn't just forget. We're at 12. You know what? The rate of them has slowed down a little, I'll say. Oh, I got a Pull Stone. Or I got Lunar Stone. Okay, bubble. Did I mark off the bubble? I did not. Let me just mark off the bubble. Perfect. Do you love the reactions when they drink the potion from Cranky? I'll tell you, I kind of cooled on... I'll be honest, I kind of cooled on DK64 specifically as I aged. Oh shit, this is... None of this is actually essential, actually, come to think of it. On second thought. I kind of cooled on DK64 like a couple years after, you know. But at the time, I really loved DK64. You know, when I got DK64, I was way into Pokemon, you know, very obsessed and shit. And, you know, I'll tell you, it's the sort of thing a 9-year-old would do, which, you know, I was at the time. But when I got DK64, I was like, oh my god, why was I so obsessed with Pokemon for a time? Oh, that was stupid. Oh, Pokemon is stupid. Okay, no more Pokemon. Hard stop. And, you know, that lasted probably like a month or two. I don't know. I don't think it lasted all that long in retrospect. I just remember it being a weird phase I went through where I was just like, man, fuck that Pokemon shit. DK64, now that's the good shit. Again, I was 9. And I don't think... I think I started rewatching the anime by the time they got to Johto. I think what I missed was, like, however long it took them to do the Orange Isle stuff, because I have, like, no memory of the Orange Isles. No memory at all. Your friend lost their saves for Pokemon because they got robbed last week? God damn, that's some bad luck. I told this to try to fit the mood of the randomized music, but I don't know that it really was that successful at that. It is unusual for someone to get robbed. Like they robbed their house, or their apartment, or whatever, their home, and they just stole a bunch of games. Is that what you're saying? Or it wasn't that, like, at gunpoint, right? Like, give me your Pokemon saves. Give me your Pokemon, your cartridge, right now. Give me that Game Boy that's in your pocket. That'd be... Yeah, I can't picture that. I was thinking that at first, and I was like, well... And then it makes more sense once I think about it. Hey, how about another card? Follow up on Super Mario Maker 2 Next Level Progress. Yeah, I mentioned that yesterday... As I was, 4 people broke into his house with machetes and traumatized. Jeez. That's quite a thing. That sounds like it could be a movie. Stabbed his dad. Wow. That just fucked up right there. Anyway, what was I saying? Mario Maker. I finished the level, pretty much. It's ready to go. Sunburn Sanctuary. is pretty much in its near complete state. And I'm thinking, you know, during tomorrow's stream and all, will be a Mario Maker stream as is my normal schedule. I'm thinking during tomorrow's stream, I'm gonna do the clear checking. I'm gonna go ahead and upload it during tomorrow's stream. Shouldn't be that long. It's not that hard to do, and I have the description and everything written out already. But you know, we'll get that uploaded during it, and then y'all can play it, and, you know, and shit. I've messed around recently with, like, uploading the levels, like, literally on stream, and I think it mostly works. Mostly is a good idea. Let's go to the booze place. I think that's the next place we can, like... Well, actually, we have the super hammer now. I didn't see. You know what? Change of plans. I was gonna go through the woods, but I'm just remembering something. I have ground pound, and I have super hammer. We can go through the sewers to get to the booze place, actually. And we can also go fight a blooper. I should save. Probably a good idea. How about a card? Another card. Started rewatching Kakushigoto. That's an anime. I mentioned on a previous one that I like to have a slice of life anime to end a night on. You know, one I'm rewatching, for instance. Just to have like one episode of a thing that's relatively lightweight and you know, pretty unlikely for me to watch it and go like, oh, I need to see a second one right now. You know, I want something that's reliable and I can just watch right before bed and then go to sleep right after. And recently I've been going through Comic Girls, and I'm on the last episode of that. But because I like to write a little review after I finish a show, that means it's not really as suited for like the last thing of a night, so I've started the next lightweight slice of life thing, which I feel like I'm kind of running out of options considering I've watched like a lot of them in the last year or so. And specifically I've been like rewatching them too, so I've rewatched a lot of the ones that I have as options, so kind of running short. So going with Kakushigoto, which I think is like not exactly a slice of life. It's more of a gag anime. Basically the premise of Kakushigoto is that the main character is a manga writer, and he makes a very embarrassing like gag manga, basically. In the show, it's called like Balls of Fury, which is to say it's like a Mad Magazine kind of thing, you know, just like a bunch of very juvenile jokes and like dirty stuff for kids, you know. Very much immature type shit, and he realizes when he has a daughter, like, oh, I don't want her to know about this, actually. This is something I'm gonna take to my grave. And basically the whole series is him just trying to hide the fact that he's a manga writer from his daughter in the most elaborate, ridiculous ways possible, which is pretty fun. There's also like a thread in the future, like a certain amount of the show set in the future, where basically it's her like you know, 5 years later as like a teenager, like a high schooler, actually finding out, which I think might be a weird part of the premise. Like if you look at it just like objectively, like why is also there's like parts where, you know what, I can use thunder. Does this work if he's thunderfied? Yes. Cool, good. There's parts in the future where where she's like finding out like several years later, which I think initially when I first watched it I was like, I don't know about these parts, but I think they work in the end. The thing I think that like works about them is that it sort of helps to say like, yeah, look, all's well that ends well here. You know, She finds out later, it's fine, no one cares, no one's hurt. It's just a funny thing that he tried to keep quiet for like, you know, when she was like 10. And she would maybe think it was, funny. And I'll say, like, she is just cute. He is just very, like, driven. It's a good show. Really enjoyed it back in the day. And, I think it's gonna be a perfectly good last of the night type show for the time being. I really do need to, like, fucking, I don't know. Either, you know, the two things I can do is, one, just say, like, okay, it's time to rewatch this show from, like, last year? I don't know. Something from, like, I can either go, like, more and more into the recent past for these, like, slice of life animes for, like, cooldown and stuff. As, like, a wind-down thing, you know? I can go more and more into the recent past, but eventually, you know, you'd run out of that, right? Because you'd run into, like, the really recent past, and at that point, you're just waiting for new ones to come out to rewatch. Obviously doesn't make sense. Again, panels, let me just confirm the panels aren't in it. I know they're not, what am I doing? But I'm just gonna confirm anyway. Yep, see? They have star pieces in it. But, you know, I don't want it to be like a weird rote loop of like, I'm watching Miss Vampire who lives next door, then Anima Yell, then Comic Girls, and then Slow Start, and then back to Anima Yell. You know, that would be a little bit repetitive. Okay, well, Meteor and Love is gonna be in there, in that loop. There's probably like a couple more, like a handful more that, bunch of stuff. Apple. Power Star. I might be out of spaghetti. Well, there's an item expansion thing here, so I'm not out of room. Can't be. Bombette! That's pretty good. Bombette lets us get into Chapter 2, except we're already in Chapter 2. We already have access to Chapter 2. Bombette lets us get Bombette. We can go back to Chapter 1 and get Bombette now. And also like a couple other things in Chapter 1. But I think we saw most of those things and they looked like nothing. They didn't look like anything of note. Like 30 minutes in, what are we at? 19 out of 70. Okay. Honestly, this might be such that you can get through, like, the whole thing and, like... And maybe as we go forward, like, it'll be harder and harder to get, like, one more thing, right? You know what? I bet some of these foliage things that are being replaced, they're not coins. Oh, you know what? That's it. They're not coins. I knew I turned foliage coins off, but some things in the foliage aren't coins. They're like coconuts and stuff. That explains it. I was wondering about that. See, that's a thing that, like, it may be like a weakness of mine as far as, like, the randomizer goes. I don't know, like, what the fuck's in every tree, frontwards and backwards, you know? I couldn't tell you, like, what was in the tree by default. I can only tell you, like, yeah, it's a tree and I check it. You know, if I have, like, these settings turned on or whatever. Maybe we'll get there pretty fast. Castle key. Some things like that are not, like, super... are not, like, super duper exciting. Just insofar as, like, to get that castle key, to use it, we have to get into the castle, and for that we need Harakiri, we need the booze portraits, and, yeah, we need, like, yeah, I guess, like, 2 other items. And even then, it probably isn't, like, gonna get us to a boss fight. I guess, then again, we don't really need to do boss fights specifically. in this randomizer. All we need to do is do like everything other than boss fights. There's one of our magic seeds. What was that? It was pink, right? It was pink. There's pink. Alright, perfect. It doesn't really matter which color I pick out of there. It's all good. What else is going on, I wonder? Let me do one more card. I did prepare a bunch of cards. I'm not anticipating going through all of them today. I'm thinking like maybe most of them just save for tomorrow, you know. But I'll do one right now and talk about what's on it. Spider-Verse 2. Shit. Yeah, I realized this the other day. I think like yesterday or something. Like I saw someone in some Discord be like, "Oh, Spider-Verse 2 is out." And I said, "Oh shit, Spider-Verse 2 is out." I didn't realize that, you know. You know how it is. Didn't think like that was quite so soon. I saw June and I was like, okay, yeah, it's in June. And now it's June and it's time and it's out. Or just about out. I need to see it. From what I think the showings have started already, right? Or they start today. Tomorrow I got the stream and also there's like GDQ to watch after that as well as some other streams. I don't think I can do it tomorrow. Don't know about Saturday either. Maybe like midday, Sunday? Ugh. It's gonna be a busy weekend between like GDQ, having a couple of runs I gotta see, you know, and, you know, going out and seeing Spider-Verse, which I'm pretty excited for. I haven't seen any like reviews or anything, but, you know, I'm perfectly fine taking it on faith that it's pretty fucking good. The trailers look pretty fucking good. So why, then, would the movie not be, I suppose? Oh, and Ralph and... They had the ability to turn off Ralph and Merlee from the item pool, so they got nothing. They're not in the item pool. There's been kind of a lot of movies this year. You know, kind of gone out and seen a lot of movies, a lot of films. And a fair amount of animated ones, too. I know as an anime person, that tends to be the case. I see a lot of animated anime movies. But there's been a couple of, like, non-anime animated movies. Specifically, Mario and this now. Which is unusual, to say the least. Let's go. Let's take the... Ooh, wait, did we talk to Flower yet? Talk to Flower. I think the last time we, like, walked by the Flower, they were, we couldn't jump at that point. I think in the future, I'm gonna run with the default music. This is too relaxing right here. You need a little bit more of a zany energy to Toad Town. You know, this is the usual music I think that plays during Toad Town and the randomizer is like the is like the Shy Guy Toad Town version specifically. So it's kind of zany, kind of like high octane. That gets you in the mood to, like, go randomize some stuff. That song that was playing is more like sleepy time music. I forgot to hit A. What's the music here? What is this? Some sort of cutscene music? Oh, this is when you're traveling to, You're traveling to Bowser's ship. Kind of weird as level music. Whatever. Let's see what we got. Now, there's a lot of things to check here, and also we can get a partner upgraded. I'm gonna go with Bombette because Bombette is always good to upgrade, and also we have Bombette, so you know, there you go. Personally, I like to upgrade Watt because Watt just has like the most reliable damage on like you know, bosses and such of any partner because you know, without spending any power, she can do 5 damage on Bowser. Whereas, like, you have to spend FP with Bombette to do the same on Bowser, which feels not as good, you know, relative. We have 1 letter, so we can't turn in all of those yet. Lancaster. Lancaster? That's Lancaster. Not a trap, you see. That's why I hesitated. Could have been a trap. What does Wacka have? Coin. Not exactly a good deal. I would not whack Wacka for 1 coin. That's not worth it. How many coins would you need to whack Wacka? Like, to, like, farm it, right? How many before you said, like, okay, Wacka, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to take some damage. You're gonna have to get some hits. I need those monies. Would it be like 10 or 30? 50 for sure. 50 for sure. I think for 30 I would as well. For 10, I don't know about 10. I can't get over there with what I got. Oh, and by the way, I'll say this randomizer does have options to, like, disable physics glitches, which I have done, but also I don't really know how to do them, like, off the top of my head. I will say I have, at one point, a couple of years before I became a streamer, I did Paper Mario at, like, a casual playthrough, but using the all cards route. So, you know, basically going through a walkthrough or something to perform the glitches, like, after, like, multiple tries, of course. It wasn't like, you know, I was doing save states as I went in order to be like, okay, here's the first step, save. Okay, what about the second step? Okay, let me try, you know, just trial and error until I got it down. Just enough to, like, get through and get to the end and go through that whole route. Which I'll tell you was an interesting way to play this game. You know, going through that route that they've set up to, you know, go as fast as possible and hit all cards. You know, the way it's routed around, that's a fake. I already have the Ultra Stone, right? Yes. Bow. Boo. Butler Portrait? What the fuck? What's that called? Boo's Portrait? I don't have Paracarry. Well, we know where it is. And I can at least get that star. I can't... You think I can get it? No, I don't think so. I think, like, if I go, like, 1 step further, I'll fall off. I think I want this Thunder Rage. Oh, also, it's on the other side. It's not the closest one. That's just not happening. Let me check my badges. Let me see if I've gotten any recent ones that I want to equip. Zap Tap is always good. Sure, damage dodge. Good on the rest. Another letter. Should be on the second letter now, based on what I've counted. Unless I've missed one along the way. Don't think that's likely. Another card. It's apparently E3/Keeley season. the season of reveals. I don't know like when the events are starting, but you know, in summer, that's when they announce shit. I think I had heard rumors that like Nintendo wasn't. I have heard rumors that like Nintendo wasn't fall this year, and they're just gonna skip over the summer. But I don't know if that's gonna be a thing. Like, nah, they always do directs like every few months. Like, I don't see them like just randomly taking them off, unless they literally have nothing to show. Which, oh, we actually do have 3. See this thing. What do we get? It's an item. Oh, it's a life shroom though. I want a life shroom. That's a good item. Fire flower. Right then, where are we going next? So chapter, I think chapter 2, like the desert side. Makes sense. Let's go to, actually, we have Boo's portrait. Wait, no, we don't. We don't have Boo's portrait. We just know where it is. Shit. God damn it. I was about to say we could go do Boo's place. We have ground pound, which means we can go into the lower parts of the mansion without like the Boo weight. So that's good. Let's go do that. That sounds like a plan to me. Fortress key. That'll let us get later into chapter 1. A life shroom. Sneaky herb. That's what I'm throwing away. It's not gonna disappear by the time I get over there, is it? These vibes are not right for the sewer. No. What was that we just got? That was, a fortress key. Right then. So maybe we should head back to chapter 1. Do some more fortress stuff. That wouldn't be a bad idea. But first, let's do everything we can do over here. Which is gonna become somewhat limited. We can... Well, not that limited, actually. We can go downstairs since we have the ground pound. I'll tell you right now, as far as the topic of the Keeleys and stuff go, I'm not really that excited for anything in particular coming out in the near future. By the way, is the audio good? Let me check that the audio is at the good level. Sounds fine. I'm not really super excited for anything right now, so, you know, they could very well... That's pretty good. I want that. But I can't get it without Parakarry. You know, I'll say, these vibes are, like, decently close, or, like, pretty close, actually. For the house, the haunted house. So, like, if they announce something really good, that'd be cool. I also, you know... Yeah, you can't get it right now. We also currently just... What am I doing? Need to jump on those boxes and actually, like, get whatever's inside them. We currently don't know, like, what Nintendo's big, like, winter plans are for this year. You know, what their big, like, November release is gonna be. And, they need to announce that probably at, like, a E3, or not at an E3, but, like, at some summer presser. Toy train, that's pretty decent. That's gonna let us go to a lot of Toy Box, assuming we can find, Bow. How we doing on stars? 27. Not bad. Okay. So, with this room, we have enough... We can just go through the thing, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna open this, and if it's anything bad, we're gonna leave. It's a coconut! I'm leaving. This is not the right music, come on. This is way too pleasant. I mean, not that the normal song is pleasant, but this is like light and airy, you know? I'm leaving. See y'all. This is right. This is right for Spooky Town. In fact, it's maybe a little too spooky. Do I have enough to get that, Oh, right. I need to turn in the booze portrait before I can shop there. But I have the booze portrait, so I can't shop there. Alright, let's head upstairs. God, there's some part of me that just looks at this room, right? And thinks like, ascend. Ascend. Go through the ceiling, right now. Too much Tears of the Kingdom. I'll say again what I said last time. I do wonder if like after Tears of the Kingdom, if we'll ever see like Ascend become like a, appear in other games. I guess, like I said last time, like I concluded last time, it's not like that's a soda can. I don't want that either. It's not like the cryosis ability, cryonosis, whatever it's called. It's not like that appeared in games after like Breath of the Wild, even ones that were sort of like copying its style. So probably not, but it's a cool ability, and I can see like honestly I could see like 3D platformers and stuff making good use of that as well in the future. Oh, right, we don't have it. We just know where it is. God damn, that's right. I forgot. Now, we don't want to enter the forest from this angle, or else we'll incur a little fight. Wait, I probably have something worse I can throw away. I don't need the Volt Stream. I have the Zap Tap. We don't want to enter the forest from this spot, because Junior Trooper will come out and he will fight us. And that's no good. Don't want that. So instead, let's go ahead and homeward away. Next place to check. Let's go through the forest. I think it's forest time. But we'll enter from this side, from the side we're on. The Toad side, so we don't see Junior Troopa. You know what? I usually I sort of take the tracker and I scroll down a little so I can see the map section that has like a map of the forest, but I'll try to do it from memory. This first one is across. Then there's a left turn. Want to make sure we get the items along the way. 2 left turns. This is just a guy. He has no item for us. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna scroll down real fast. You'll see some shit real fast. Oh wait, I turned off the map. Let me turn back on the map. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm not missing a item room, a room with an item in it. This room has the seed. This room with the left turn, and then the other ones are on like tangents. This one's a right turn, I think, right? Ruins key. I will plant that ruins key somewhere nice. Please, believe me. Absolutely. Right, it's this turn here. Oh, you know what? I also have the Ultra Stone. I forgot to mark that off. But, I prefer to start with it. That's one of the things I prefer to start with. Considering that I like to be able to upgrade my guys, and it seems only natural for me to do so. Are we all lined up? Yeah, looks like we are. Good. Okay. There's the artifact. We can give that to Colorado for a thing. But only after we defeat Chapter 5, so I don't know if we're going to do that. It's probable that it's not really something that's necessary anyhow. This is right? I think we did twice around. Now we're down, and we need to go for a right turn here. Wait. We need to go to the left, and we're going down, so that's a right turn. And in this... Damn it. Okay, lesson learned. Don't go to the house through the back door until you've done the forest. That was a mistake. Also, I don't have neither of my partners that I have. Wait, I have Lancaster. Oh, I forgot I had Lancaster. Oh, there's some places we can go with Lancaster. And we have Bombette, so we can go through the wall that's like downstairs. You know, downstairs in like the pipe area. Yeah, let's do that. That sounds fun. After we get whatever one item we're checking, and then we're doing this fucking boss for. I'll do another card. Playing Tears of the Kingdom a lot. Oh yeah. Still in the... I just before this here stream finished the I got the last of the Tears, did that whole thing. And those cutscenes were interesting. Well, not really. They were okay. Little long, little drawn out. Honestly, would have preferred if I could have just like pressed through them, you know, if there was no voice acting and all that. That would have been a lot more convenient. It's this one, right? Across from the door that leads to the place. Perfect. But yeah, there was a interesting plot development, and also it seems like right now I'm all ready to go to the end game, so long as like I'm satisfied with the amount of hearts or whatever I have. I have like full stamina. I have 25 hearts, and I've explored like most of the depths. I've explored most of those. There's still more I can do, and I'm certainly like enjoying just doing every shrine I can, doing you know, poking my head into every little nook and cranny. That shit is real fun. Let's go down we're gonna go down to the pipes and do the stuff we can do with Lancaster. Now that I've remembered that I have him. Wait. Ground pound a couple times over here. That does a thing. So yeah, that game continues to be rad. Did I already get this? Maybe I... Did I already get this earlier? I must have already gotten this earlier. Go figure. Having a hell of a good time with that game. I'll tell you, I have been using... Well, maybe I'll get into that later, but, have been using, like, a device I saw on a YouTube video. You know, the stick, the travel stick. Got that working, and it turns out, like, yeah, it's a pretty good vehicle for flying around, and also it doesn't, like, expire. Kind of a shame about that, about the planes, about the wings in that game, you know? I would love to just make a plane and have that be the way to get around, but, you know, I just, I can't have my, my device, my thing, just constantly, going out from under me, and also, like, making it really hard to find all the items I got in the process. You know, or, like, all the items I've attached to it, right? I don't need a dizzy dial. Parakarry! That's pretty good. Lets us do a bunch of stuff in Chapter 2. Parakarry is just, like, helpful all over. There's actually a lot of places, I think, where Parakarry is going to help us, you know, get over gaps. Chapter 3, for instance. Oh, and we can get the ghost thing now. We can get the ghost portrait. And that means we can get into Chapter 3 proper. You know, like the meat of Chapter 3. And we can get all the way to the dungeon. And we can do everything short of finishing it with, which, you know, considering that we're after stars, not power stars, not like star spirits in this in this mode. Considering that, there's no reason why we shouldn't just go to Chapter 3 right now and just do everything we can in Chapter 3. We're also nearly halfway to our goal of 70 stars. I always think the shroom steak looks like a penis. Apple. Throw away the apple. I can't get through this yet, but maybe later. I don't want to fight the last blooper, considering that we already have a way to that chapter. That would be a pointless waste of time and energy. Chapter 3. That's where we need to go right now. No, we have to go to Chapter 2 first. We could also do the desert while we're at it. You know, comb the desert. You know, with this mode, it's well possible we could find everything we need to, like, go to Bowser and shit without combing the desert at all. We could just find enough stars and never have to, like, go through the whole desert. Wonder if that's, like, a strategy, you know? Just avoid the parts that are really long and slow and just focus on everything else and hope to get through. How about another card while we're just going out to where we do a thing? Have y'all seen tips and tricks videos for Tears of the Kingdom? Yeah, so there's a bunch of these going on, you know, social media, all that, YouTube and shit. And I'll tell you, I watched like one of them, the one that had the flying stick that everyone uses now, the one that's like really efficient. And also had a couple of other tips like, oh yeah, you can throw these things instead of, I'm gonna say these things in order to be vague, you know? You can throw these things instead of shooting them with an arrow. So they're actually a little more, it wastes less arrows to do it that way, turns out. And I was like, okay, well, it's a little more specific than I would like, actually, watching that video. And I'll tell you, after I watched that video, I got a whole mess of suggestions in my algorithm, in my YouTube algorithm. Got a bunch of suggestions for other tips and tricks videos about Tears of the Kingdom. some of them by the same guy, right? The same YouTuber, which, you know, I was just like, some of them were like way too specific. Like one of them was like, you know, oh, find the Master Sword with only blank, like right out the gate. And I'm just looking at that going like, dude, who the fuck wants to look up where the Master Sword is? And also, you know, I didn't watch it or anything, but I have found the Master Sword, and it's like, yeah, dude, if you found the Master Sword, you don't need a video to tell you that you can actually do it real easy, like, you know, because it's, you know, it's the kind of thing where you see that and you're like, why in the hell would anyone need a trick or would need to be told this? Considering, like, where it is and how it works, right? Like, god damn it, dude. So I had to, like, tell YouTube, like, no, I'm not interested in any of those. I don't want, like, videos with spoilers in the thumbnails. No, thank you. Please, please. I know I'm, like, at the end game, pretty much. You know, at this point where I am at. And there's not actually that much more that can be spoiled for me, but god damn, you know, I'd like to find these things out for myself and to figure these things out one thing at a time. Like, one thing I'll say is that not a spoiler, no spoiler here, but there's the boobles thing that you do a thing in some caves or whatever, you get some boobles. Whatever the fuck. I still don't know where you trade those in or what they do or how they work. And I'm happy, even like, you know, dozens of hours in, to not know that thing and just to have that waiting in the future. All my armor is 3 power, you know? Because I haven't like looked up like, oh, where's the armor? How do you do armor stuff? You know, how do you upgrade that shit? Honestly, that might have been in the original game. So maybe it's not a spoiler per se. But, you know, I'll happen across it at some time. There's still plenty of quests I want to do, and I'll say, like, they have been pretty good about making those quests solid. I found a thing, a side adventure the other day after clearing, like, an enemy camp, where, like, some guys that were in the trailer appeared, and it was a whole thing, and I was like, oh shit, this seems like fun. I should really like, you know, do some stuff with them at some point. I don't know. Hey, look at that. We got a trade in for a power star. And also there's a letter. We don't have the rewards for letters turned on. They are not part of the item pool, so that's nothing. Nearly the halfway mark, about an hour in. This is maybe shaping up to be a very, very, very reasonable length for a stream of mine, I'll tell ya. Usually we go like 3 or 4 hours, and that was kind of what I was hoping for, you know, something equivalent to like, if I do like 3 star spirits required or 4 star spirits. In that range, I would say that would take like 3 to 4 hours for me. Maybe less if it's like 2 or 3 or something. Somewhere between around 3 hours, I would say, for like 3 star spirits. So should we drop by the dungeon and do everything we can in the dungeon right now? And that's the halfway mark. Shit. There's also the room with like 4 blocks in it that's like, let me look at the dry desert map real fast. It's like, we're in the one next to Thunder Rage. Up for one from here is the ruins. Let's do these 5. Waterstone, that's pretty good. And I'll fix this soon as we get out of this desert, you know. I should really, like, commit to memory or something. You know, the map. I know it's a little weird looking to scroll the tracker down and, have some maps on screen for a second. Wait. Up one from here. Let's do the deserts, the ruins right now. As far as we can do, anyway. But it's, just most convenient way to do that. I have considered having, like, a second browser window open with the map so that, you know, y'all don't have to see it. But, you know. It also helps to see, like, the tracker can tell, like, what checks are available right now, which is, handy. You get a little drink here right now. This the vanilla song? I think this is the vanilla song. Pretty sure it's the vanilla song. How about another card? Playing Marvel Snap. I'm still not a fan of the high evolutionary meta. And part of that is just not having high evolutionary, I will say. But still, kind of unhappy every time I see a high evolutionary. Kind of counters my main deck. Which is still the Guardians deck, even though it really is bad in this meta. I just like playing that deck and locking down some lanes and not really thinking about it. If you're wondering, the deck list is right here. There's my Guardians deck. It's a deck based around locking down lanes, playing Guardians, and you know, then my big like turn 6 play is playing like a combination of several 3-drops, right? Either like Groot and Cosmo, which gains a bunch of power off the Groot, and then Cosmo prevents on reveals. Or I play like one of those 2 cards, and also Negasonic, which destroys the first card that they play. With those 2 cards, I need priority going into that final turn, but I usually have that, actually, you know, with the way that the deck is built. And so long as I've locked down like 2 lanes, I'm sure like which lane they're gonna play for, and I can counteract them perfectly. You know? Hello, Lord Bowser, how you doing? Also been playing this bounce deck a little bit, which has been good, especially because it has Luke Cage in it, so that's good in today's meta. But I don't know, I'm not really feeling bounce. I've also been doing Destroy Everything a bit, which I do mainly because it's a deck based around getting a big Nimrod and then copying it to multiple locations by playing multiple Destroy cards on the last turn. With that deck, it's not like super good or nothing, but my Guardians deck usually locks down a lane before I play 4 cards in it. You know, and also, it usually doesn't win lanes with over 20 power, so for those 2 quests, I need to play a different deck to actually get them most of the time, so like the Destroy deck has been my go-to recently for either of those, even though honestly it can be pretty hard to get it done, you know? To get all the cards that I need to do the combos and then get actually big Negasonic and get over 20. You're working on your two castle, that's great, man. Oh yeah, you're doing a fire wheel mechanic like the level last time. You don't know how to make the fire wheel correctly? I think the key is, with the fire wheel, is to have like 4 rails that are in parallel, and have them like, all drop onto a lower rail, like, and so long as they're at the same, like, horizontal plane, they'll start at the same time. I think that's how it works, is it not? Does that not quite pan out in practice? I'll say I don't know that I've done one myself. By which I mean, I haven't done one myself. You're trying to make more than 4 tracks. How do you mean? You mean like one with like more spokes, like an 8 one? Right, because the fire wheel from the last stream was like an 8 wheel. Had like 8 spokes to it. So I guess you're trying to make like one of those? You know, you can always go back to that VOD from last Friday, which of course is on the YouTube now, as you well know. And look up the maker code of the level in question. We saw that in. that would, you know, you can either like pull up the level yourself in Mario Maker, do that thing with the where you like pull up the level in an editor. You know, that web site program thing that can pull a level from the internet from Mario Maker. Or you can just like screen cap. That's right, you have the level code. It's lucky that it's always on screen during those things, isn't it? I think it's handy too. Yeah, the level viewer, there you go. I think that's all we can do here in the dungeon. We should probably finish combing the desert. Anyway, Marvel Snap, one more thing I'll say is that I saw that I had a card for a quest, like, not a daily quest, but like a more long-term quest for like doing discarding cards. So I pulled up, let's see, this deck out of Hawk, which is my collector discard deck, which is basically a collector deck that also has some discard in it, but not like a ton of discard. So it's not like exactly the deck that everyone else does, but it's a fun deck because it's so much built around like getting random cards and playing random cards. And also has a little bit of discard in it, which makes it a little bit viable, you know. I like decks that just give you random shit to work with, you know. That is fun, and while I haven't played this one in a while, I will say it still works. To an extent. Wait. Oh. Hit this one as well. We're at 40 of 70. We're coming up on it. It still works. There was definitely a game or two in there where I, you know, where I got... There was a game or two where I got the combo off of. Basically, the combo for that deck, the, like, killer combo on, like, turn 5 is to get, like, Sarah out on 5, and then to play, like, on, 6 to play both Modoc? To play both, Modoc and also, the other card, which is, what's the other card's name? Morbius. Which is a card that gains attack based on how many cards you discarded. By hiding the fact that it's also a discard deck until the last moments, I hope to, like, catch them by surprise and, you know, just suddenly put 20 damage on the field on the last turn, plus anything additional that the collector gets from, like, Helicarrier getting discarded, for instance. Is there nothing here? Maybe there's nothing here. Or it's like, oh, there's one. I really feel like I'm in a bit of a rut with Marvel Snap. And I'll say I've been like saving up the coins, the tokens, so I can get High Evolutionary as soon as humanly possible. That card is broken and I want it, and I am very deeply envious of those who play it and can make it work. I say can make it work. All you need to do High Evolutionary is play it against a deck that is not specifically trying to counter it. Which I will say a lot of decks out there are specifically trying to counter it. But, you know, my deck is older than that, so it doesn't. Oh, you know. I guess you could say that I should adapt. And, you know, let's say Lackster. I would like to upgrade Watt, but I don't know if we'll find Watt by the end of the run here. Anyway, still having a great time with that game, but this is perhaps the least great time I've been having yet. I could use a new deck right now. I'm kind of running into a bit of a rut, feeling a little bit of a drag. Really, I I expect if I get like if I get that new card, I'll be inspired to make something new. But until such time as I get High Evolutionary and am able to make that really overpowered deck that everyone's playing, which kind of just makes itself, honestly, pretty much just makes itself. The inclusions are really obvious. Until such time as I get that, I'm just like treading water and just trying to gain up enough tokens. I used my gold this week on Token Tuesday, which is a thing where they let you spend in-game gold on tokens directly. Previously, I've been doing the thing where I buy quests and use that to get more like upgrade currency. But I think it's actually, since you know the upgrade currency lets you get more blind boxes, or not blind boxes, but collection boxes. But since new cards for me right now are just so unlikely, it's not really worth it to just get just keep on getting more of those boxes. So I'm better off just going for tokens and unlocking things manually. I think we've combed the desert now, which is kind of a shame. I think like that's not a great way to play the game. You know, I think it's better to just. I think it's cooler when you're just left to your own devices and have to work with what the game happens to give you. But as you get into Pool 5, you know, 90% I think of Pool 5 cards people will get will be ones they unlock specifically, which means that they're going to be very, very, very strong. They're going to be the best cards in the game, which I think that's going to limit your design space, question mark? Is that... It's gonna mean that instead of everyone having a randomly different assortment of items to work with, they're gonna all have basically the same items, more or less. Or the same cards to work with, more or less, which I think is kind of a shame. I think it kind of homogenizes things. I kind of think the token system was a mistake. Instead, it should have been that cards are dropped at a reasonable rate. You know, and you're not, like, having to open, like... You're not getting, like, one card naturally every month. You know, that's ridiculous. That's untenable. That's... Even if there's not that many cards to get, I think it's better for people to get complete collections than it is to just completely string them along and just waste their time in such a fashion, you know? I know I'm giving it a lot of complaints here, right? But you know, hey, it's the thing where, yeah, Marvel Snap is a game I play every day. So yeah, I have a lot of complaints building up just through like the changes in the meta and how I don't think the card collection system is quite where it needs to be. In fact, I would say that they should probably, like, reverse a few things, right? I also think you know, if the problem is that people are unlocking cards too fast, they should just start busting them out even faster. You know, I would really love it if they just said, like, okay, we're releasing 30 cards this month. Instead, they say, okay, we're releasing 5 cards this month. And by the way, if you're wondering, yeah, you can only get about... And that's the main reason why you can only get, like, 1 card a month. Because they're only releasing, like, 1 card a month, so... If you could... Or 4 cards a month, so... If you could outpace them, you'd have a complete collection before you know it. And I guess people can grind and shit as well. So it's, like, possible. There was a thing downstairs here that we want. You know what? First, let's get the bow portrait turned in. And then let's get these... Go down to the store and the other stuff. Since we need to turn in the bow portrait before we can do all that. And this will have 1 check. And downstairs, I know, is the pyramid piece or something. This is the chapter music. Very fitting. Another card. Hey, that's just System Shock remake. Looks cool, but probably won't get it. Yeah, I was not sure where to put this card. Considering that, like, is it a yellow, an open-ended question? Green usually means that it's something I'm thinking about or looking forward to. But, you know, like thinking about buying, looking forward to getting. But in this case, I actually am not probably going to buy it. So, like, it doesn't quite make sense. But I decided, green's close enough for it. You know, I got, like, a big color coding system. It's not, you know, the tightest system in the world, so it's like, whatever. You know, if I sort of stretch it and bend it a little bit or apply different colors to different things at times. Anyway, I saw like a video of that game and I saw it and I'm like, God damn, it looks really nice. And I like how like geometric. There's some really nice, neat geometry to like how it looks. What was that? That was the palace key. We're probably not gonna go out to the palace this playthrough, this seed. We've gotten 52 of the stars. Just 20 left. If we finish this in like by like the 2-hour mark, should we do something else? You know what? I'm okay with a shorter stream. I can play some Tears of the Kingdom off stream. I can watch some GDQ. That is acceptable, you know. Not every stream needs to be a monster. And in fact, it's probably better for like my sleep schedule and shit. I'll say I've been a little tired recently. Especially today. You know, just like before the stream, I was definitely like, God damn, I haven't been this tired in the evening for some time. I was up late last night watching the GDQ, but at the same time, I've been up late a lot in the past, and maybe part of it is just the melatonin helping out, you know, helping making me tired. But you'd think it'd make me tired after I took it, but I think I'm finding that, like, yeah, it's making me tired, like, in the morning as well, you know, like, it's making me want to do long stretches of sleep, you know, and really just get another 5 minutes, you know how it is. There's gonna be another cutscene here. Meanwhile, why don't I do another card? Street Fighter 6 sounds cool, but I don't know that I'll get it. I don't have bow, so I'll just have to be visible and it'll be fine. I've heard really good things about Street Fighter 6. Heard that it's like really accessible, there's like a simplified mode, and there's like a whole adventure thing. I really need to watch, like, you know, I mentioned before, I used to watch Giant Bomb's Quick Looks a lot, and they've been doing more of them recently, and I sometimes just like put it on for a bit and like look and see what a game looks like. I should watch and see their Street Fighter 6 Quick Look or something. I have liked the fighting games in the past that had like stories and elaborate all that elaborate stuff. I think it's a pretty good way to make a fighting game work, even if you're like no good at fighting games like I am. Just to have a story mode you can burn through. And hell, maybe this will be like, I'll tell you, I've never really played a Street Fighter game, so we'll be going in blind. But you know, like I said, I hear they've made it more accessible. And they've done some stuff with the controls that make a mode where if you're like me, it's easier. Now I will say I've played like fighting games that have had that on the box, right? And what I've typically found is like, oh, you know, this is, well, it's a lot simpler to control, it's true, but also at the same time, it's still a fighting game with, there's bow. That's nice. That lets us go into the toy box. It's still a fighting game with a lot of really complex, like, that's a little bit stiff and also has complex rules surrounding, like, okay, when you want to do a uppercut, when you want to do a straight attack, whatever the fuck, right? Oh, you know what? We would have had trouble with these guys if we didn't get bow. So I guess it's lucky. Guess it's lucky. We should go up first since we have the key. We can do the rest of the stuff after we're done on the upper levels. We'll come down and do the basement and stuff. Bowser's Castle music. You know what would be interesting? This mode is really fast paced. Gets you to the end quickly. I have it set up on boss rush mode, but I can see it like being viable for like the other mode, you know, the where you make it so it's like full Bowser. You know, full Bowser's Castle. You would have to find like several keys as well in that case, I guess. Which is part of the reason why you don't do it, right? Because like, well, kind of just adds a lot to the end of a run to be like, okay, I've gotten everything I need to get, like, as far as Star Spirits go. And then they realize, like, oh, there's, like, keys as well, and, you know, Bowser's Castle keys, and as far as you know, they could be in Bowser's Castle, so what are you to do, right? That's why I typically play with the boss rush mode. And also, after a whole, like, couple of hours of, like, running through the whole world, the last thing I want to do is go through a full Bowser's Castle. They'll be mostly linear and mostly just, you know... Mostly linear and, have very few opportunities to, like, pop out to another level, you know? And if it does have those opportunities, it's mostly comes at inconvenient times, you know? Because you'll just have to go through those rooms again. I don't know why this is taking me so many tries tonight. There we go. Logo, the worst badge in the game. Pretty sure there's like no use case where I would ever use Slow-Go. Or anyone? Is there such a use case where you use Slow-Go? I don't know. We can go through this door over here. That just looks like a bunch of items. Doesn't look like there's anything major over there. But we'll get it. We'll get those anyway. I at the very least want the heart life shroom. I said heart shroom. Let's get rid of the Thunder Rage. That star was a decoy, and we don't really want a coconut. I have one more game that I have on the list of, like, that sort of go to this theme of, like, games. You know what I'll say? I'll say of Street Fighter 6. I watched that clip quick, and the story mode looks awesome. Looks excellent, you know, speaks to me. I'll absolutely get it, and I'll play it. Should I have my first experience with with a Street Fighter game on stream? That sounds like a good idea, actually. Come to think of it, if we so choose to do that. Next Thursday is already penciled in as Majora's Mask, but could absolutely fit in like another stream, maybe. I don't know. I reserve the right to add in additional streams wherever it makes sense. You know? I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't be that interesting. Just me going like, okay, so I've heard about quarter circles. I've heard about quarter circle forwards, quarter circle back. What does this mode do with those? Is it just like Smash Brothers? Is it just like directional plus a button? Okay, I can work with that. Is that gonna be like the long and short of it? I don't really know if that sounds like as interesting as it needs to be, right? But hell, maybe the story mode is fun. Maybe like seeing that for the first time would be cool. You know, just for the first couple of hours of it specifically. You know, not like the whole thing or nothing. How many are we at now? 55. Now seems like a perfect time to randomly go into a digression that I did not, ooh, Mega Quick, I like that. That I did not fully plan out ahead of time, so I don't have a card for it, but... Oh, right, I forgot about... There's a thing in this game for bonus damage, for badge synergy, where if you have, like, a number of badges relating to, like, jumping or, like, hammer stuff equipped, like 3 of them or something, they sort of synergize and add, like, additional power. I actually don't have enough badges to do that right now. I just have 1 of each, and you need, like, 3 of one. You know, 3 boot, 3 hammer, 1 of either, to get extra damage added on to your attack. Badge synergy is a thing they added. I guess it's pretty slight, it's pretty minor. Doesn't really come up in all that many situations. I don't have Watt, but I'm gonna upgrade Watts in hopes that I get... Actually, you know what? We do have Bow, and Bow's... You know what? You know what? I'm not gonna fight that many guys that have... That like, Bow's attacker is good against, actually. Because we don't have to do bosses in this, really, because we're just going for the power stars, right? We're just going for power stars, so we can kind of skip all the bosses. I'm not sure... I'll tell you, I'm not sure how... We'll wait until the end of the stream, maybe, before I give my thoughts on this mode. Just based on this first impressions. This first playthrough, whatever the fuck. Or maybe I'll talk about that as I get Bowser, you know? Because that'll basically be the same as any other run, you know? Crap. That'll be the same as any other seed. So, we don't really need to experience that before we can talk about, like, how well this mode works. And how good it feels, you know, to go through. And yeah, we're like 14 away, so not very many. Also, we're done here. So let's get out of here. Where to next? Let's go to Ice World. We're going to Snow World, chapter 7. We have everything we need to go there, and it's been open for some time. The only thing that's been stopping us is, you know, other places to look for stuff. We could also go farther into chapter 1 at any time right now. Chapter 1 is an option. I need to go to the Blue House. I'll say before what I've thought about as far as what would be a cool, like, Paper Mario type game. And a game I hope that some indie person is making, right? I feel like there's a lot of unexplored, untapped potential in the Paper Mario combat system. And in specific, how customizable it could be. You know, I think of games like StarCraft 2, right? With their, like, very elaborate skill tree setups. Where, like, oh, you know, imagine if Paper Mario had a skill tree, right? And each partner, you weren't just upgrading them, but you were just picking between, like, this move and that move. And maybe this one's a passive ability, maybe this one's a very powerful move, you know? And you're making choices. And it could even work like, you know, like StarCraft 2 does in the later installments, where it's like, you know, you can switch back and forth with it. You know, you can change it later. It doesn't have to be something you're locked into. You could also picture, like, okay, yeah, more badges that, like, affect... If there were badges that gave moves to your partners as well, I think that would be really cool. You know? I could imagine a game where, like, each part... Where we're, like, when you're going to a new area, you're seeing the enemies that it has and what sorts of attacks they have, what sort of, like, defenses they have. And you're very specifically, like, putting together a crew of dudes in order to counter that specifically. That store had nothing. Did that store really have nothing? Untapped potential. And it's kind of a shame that they stopped iterating on it, you know? And I think that, And I think that, like, later games that have done it have been, like, okay, but I feel like part of the scope is important, you know? Part that's important is having, like, a lot of partners, you know? So that there's a lot of options in each battle and how you approach things, you know? And I think it'd be cool if you could, like, put together, like, different parties, you know, different parties of guys and have them all equipped in different ways for different worlds and just customize the fuck out of them. I think that'd be a cool way to build a Paper Mario type game. Now, I have said before that, like, you know, I do a lot of like Paper Mario or Mario making, right? And I've thought about, like, you know, hey, going beyond Mario Maker, like actually trying to make a real ass video game or whatever the fucking, like, a real ass engine. And obviously that's like an order of magnitude harder, takes an order of magnitude more time, and I probably won't ever find the time to put together a fully fleshed out thing while also streaming, while also working, you know, a full-time job, while also playing all the video games I want, while also, you know, if I were to become a home owner sometime in the future, while also tending to whatever home I were to get. That seems like one thing too many for me to do, while also looking into, like, you know, romance and whatever the fuck. New opportunities as far as like employment goes. You know, there's all sorts of things that I could be spending my time with, where I don't know that I would ever really make a game. Beyond, like, just, you know, a super world, right? Something that's incremental and a hobby, essentially. But if I did, a like Paper Mario game would be a good one to do. Except insofar as I don't know I can really write a good story. You know, I'm not really a writer, you see. I don't really have that in me. That is not something I've done, writing fiction, writing jokes. I'm also not really an artist. I can sort of, like, you know, like half-ass it, you know, just like open up paint.net and just like mess around until I have something that's like good enough for the stream, which is something I like to do. Mess around until I have an emote that I like, but I think if I were to have to generate assets, I'd run into like an issue of scope, you know. Oh hey, they sped up this cutscene. That's nice of them. Very nice of them to do. There are also a lot of stars that are just in stores that we can just go buy, you know? We don't have that many coins is the only problem, and I guess the question is how much is a star, and how many do we need? 13, that's unlucky. We need 13. And they cost 15. So we can buy like 3. Nearly 4. I'll buy 1 from this store. How about another card? I still got a bunch. Oh yeah, Diablo 4 is apparently coming out. I like 3 a lot. In fact, I will say I have 3 on my list of games that I love. But I am not so sure about 4. Honestly. You know, Blizzard has been fairly shit recently. You know, their Overwatch 2 really didn't really impress at all. And, you know, from what... It definitely seems to me with Blizzard, everyone who's good left already. And they're somewhere else building games independent of the Blizzard machine. And, you know, what the fuck? Why would I care about a game made by the leftovers? But people say it's good. And, it's going for, like, that Diablo 2 thing. And I'll say, I didn't play Diablo 2. I didn't play any Diablo before 3. So I can't really speak to the Diablo 2 thing, but I hope, you know, I guess I need to look into, like, what it actually is, because I hope it still has, like, move customization. You know what? Actually, come to think of it, another good model for, like, what Paper Mario, like, move customization could be like is the, is Diablo 3, where, like, each character has, like, a whole fucking retinue, a huge-ass retinue of, like, possible moves you can slot in, and you just have to choose, like, 5 of them from any category, or, like, you know, specific slots. You're sort of encouraged to do, like, 1 from each category, but you can actually put in, like, as many as you want from each individual category. I hope something like that is still in there, because I really enjoyed the fun of customizing characters and putting them together. Something like that would be great in a Paper Mario style game, like, oh my god. I do think it would need more sophisticated, like, moves than what we got right now, right? Like, in this game, and even in TTYD to a certain extent, like, the best you got is, like, oh, this does, this move does damage to everyone. A lot of damage to everyone. This move does a lot of damage to everyone on the ground. You know, stuff like that. It's not very complicated. It's not that sophisticated, you know? It's very, rudimentary. Whereas I imagine you could look at games like, you know, like card games and shit, where every card has, like, a ridiculous amount of text that, that, like, you know, makes it interesting to build decks and find hidden synergies and stuff, right? Like, you could... Here's an example Here's an example, right? There are in Hearthstone, I believe, certain cards that have some effect if they, like, kill an enemy. You know, like, it's a minion that, if it kills an enemy, some effect happens, right? Or it's a card, it's a spell where if you cast it and kills an enemy, it has some effect. You could easily picture, like, okay, this character has an attack that does 1 damage. Just 1 damage. But if you kill something with it, it'll do, like, 5 damage to everyone. You know, all enemies, 5 damage. You know, you could imagine, like, attacks that are more or more positional, where it's like, okay, this can do damage to the first 2 enemies, or, like, 2 enemies that are next to each other, any 2, but only 2. And only if there's, like, you know, nothing overhead. You know, like, if there's an enemy above them, maybe it's like a hailstorm or something, I don't know. Something rocks from above or some shit. You could do some really neat shit with that, and I hope that someone is already way ahead of me, you know? I hope that someone is trying that shit. And trying to make it work. Of course, I suppose the one thing I've not really, like, talked through here, as far as potential, like, as far as, like, opportunities go, is that I could just get way into, like, modding, right? Like, there are Paper Mario mods out there, and, it's a good place to start from, already having a game to work with, you know, and enemies that already exist, and moves that already exist, and all you have to do is, like, add your own on top of that. That's probably a better... That's probably, like, a faster way to get something off the ground versus, like, learning to do really, really, really hard things from scratch with no budget or resource or time to allocate. I mean, I guess in either case, modding is not an easy... I don't want to make it sound like modding is an easy thing or all. I'm sure it takes a lot to really get your head around all the nuances of it. And such. We can go get penguin treasure now. And, after that, I think we're done in this area for now. We've done everything we can do for the time being. Basically, this would be like the bucket, I believe, in the original game. I think. Let's see what we get. Oh, hey. Power Star. How many we got? 61. Just 9 left. 9 left, folks. And goddamn, it's just over. It'll be just over 2 hours. If, maybe like 2.5. I don't know. I mean, I'll say we still have to go fight Bowser. And I would love to have Watt to fight Bowser because, you know, I would love to have Watt, but we'll see. You know, I would also love to have P to have certain attack, P down pound, P down jump. I really like that attack. It pierces the fence. That's another thing. You could have like attacks that are better against. You could have moves that are better used against defended enemies. Attacks that like silence an enemy. You know, like let's say if there's an enemy that like has some weird effect upon death, you could like stop them from doing a thing for a turn, and then kill them, and then you know that'd be cool. Lots of like opportunities. Anyone who wants to do the work, who wants to do the thing, you know. I don't want to say that sounds like a little bit condescending. Who wants to do the work, you know? That's like what you know, people say of like unemployed people, like, oh, no one wants to do the work anymore. Like that's not what I mean. I'm just saying if anyone is already like you know, bearing down on such a game. I think I forgot about. Did I get this one in the downstairs area? It was one of the. Oh yes, I did, but I didn't mark it. I was just wondering because I didn't see the pyramid stone on my tracker, but that's just on me. I forgot to put it in there. I'll say free ideas. If someone goes and makes $1 billion off that, well, I'd be surprised, but, you know, hey, I'd love to play it, is the thing. And again, I'll say, I think it's a damn shame that Nintendo themselves are not interested in, like, pursuing that, or, like, furthering their own, the thing that they created, you know? Taking it to the next level. And a reminder, we have 9 left. 9 left. Think for a second. What can we do right now with the partners we have? We could go talk to Mufasa. We have Mousefasa. Sorry. We could talk to Mousefasa, if we so pleased. Chapter 1 stuff. Chapter 1 stuff. Chapter 3... We're pretty much done with Chapter 3. Everything short of actually, you know, beating the chapter, which is... I don't think there's any checks after beating the chapter, so that's not gonna get us anything, really, other than a star move. Chapter 4. Oh, we can go into Chapter 4. Oh, crap. Chapter 4 is just a bonanza. It's just, like, chock full of opportunities. Oh, fuck. We can absolutely finish the game in Chapter 4 right now. And hell, maybe we'll even get Watt along the way. That'd be rad if we could find Watt. That's sort of the main thing I'm looking for right now, honestly, with these last 9 power stars. 8 power stars remaining. Another card. Should cats eat veggies? I saw some people sharing some photos of a cat eating corn cutely. And I said, they shouldn't be eating that. They're carnivores. They can't really digest that shit. And people argued with me. They said, no, corn's in cat food. They can digest it. They can do the stuff with it. It's fine. It's good. And I talked with my dad about it because he has cats. And well, I sort of confirmed with him what I thought I believed, which is that, like, yeah, you know, I also Googled a bit, and unfortunately it seemed like, yeah, it seems like there's like sites everywhere trying to answer this question, trying to say, no, it's okay, go ahead, give your cat a potato. Another one saying like, no, they're carnivores, and not a lot of science one way or the other. Though I did see some science that seemed to say like, cats can digest a little bit of plant material, but they are primarily carnivores, and you should probably be feeding them mostly meat. And I feel like the thing is that you know, obviously cat food apparently is chock full of corn. The reason for that is simple. It's cheap. It's not good for the cat. That's not what it is. It's just cheap as hell, and you know, you probably shouldn't. You still, even though it's you know, they give you the option, you probably should not be availing yourself of it. We can actually just walk around. Let's just walk around instead of going the top way. You should probably be giving your cat like actual meat, you know, versus dogs who are omnivores. They can eat whatever the fuck they want, you know, and that's why it's fine that dog food is just like made of whatever scraps are like economical, right? They're kind of good for it. But, you know, I do think that with cats, I bet it's like a real hassle to like feed them like actual food. You know, like to make fish or salmon or whatever the fuck you need to make for them. My dad, for his cats, he makes, they're picky eaters, you see. They get like actual salmon every day. And I forget how picky they are, but I think they like only specific fish. And like, they get a lot of it. And, you know, that can't be as cheap as just regular ass cat food. I know. That can't be cheap, so I understand why people would just do the cat food. I'll say if I had a dog, I would probably just feed them dog food. Though they'd probably also get, like, scraps from the table just as often. Though, I'll be honest, I don't know, like, if I have a hot dog, right? There's not really scraps from a hot dog. It would have to be like, for there to be, and like from Marie calendars, there's not really scraps. Well, I didn't really know you could just wait in here and not be invisible and they'd run off. I guess that makes sense. Otherwise, how would you know to become invisible here? I just haven't seen that in 20 years. Actually, huh. I've always been invisible when I went in here and did a thing. Funny. If I had a dog, I'd probably just feed it regular dog food. What, you know, wet, dry, whatever made sense for it. Probably wouldn't be too, like, fancy with it. I probably wouldn't be able to afford to, like, feed a dog steaks. Or whatever the fuck. And honestly, like, my dad does say, like, when I'm hanging out with my dad, he's always saying, like, don't feed the dog shit. Don't feed the dog shit. They'll upset their stomach. It'll upset their stomach if they get fed human food. They're gonna poop everywhere if you go feeding them regular food, but, you know, you look at their, and then, you know, look. You look into their face and, you know, you gotta give them something, you know, just a little bit of a taste, you know, just like lick the plate clean, you know, of all the blood and shit or whatever. The meat juice, you know, whatever it is. Throwing away the spaghetti. And, you know, they're quite happy with that. Ooh, quick change, that's nice. That's a good badge. Let's see, we have 8 left, and there's 2 of them right there. We got the melody. What's it, 7 left? 6 left. 5 left. There's the boo wait. We don't need it. We already got access to the places it unlocks. 4 left. You're gonna go now, Lord Bowser. You have a good one. See you tomorrow with the Super World because you need some time to figure out the fire wheel. Cool. Wish you the best. Hope you get it done by tomorrow. Though if you don't, hey, no worries, man. We'll just play levels I played before, you know. Whenever your turn comes up, you know how we do. 3 left. 3 of those bad boys left. This feels really weird. I'll say! You know, I was gonna wait until we get to, like, get to Bowser's Castle before we start talking about how this feels. But we're kind of in, like, the last leg of the thing. We haven't finished a single boss, nor... We don't even have the ability to fight a single boss yet. And yet... We're coming up on 70. I guess the lesson is, you know, first off, 70 stars. Maybe a little short. Maybe not as many as you need to make this, like, really interesting. You know, I went with 70 stars because obviously, like, you think about the original, like, Mario Collectathons, they only asked you to get, like, half of them. But also, they didn't... Those games did not give them away like candy. You know, only Odyssey does that, and only, like, in very specific circumstances, right? Like, well, not really, but, you know, it's... Even Odyssey, I feel like, is a little less free than this. I'd say. I don't know. I feel like the raid is just, like, really, really wild. I want that badge. I hope it's... You know what? I'm gonna take out Parakarry. And I'm gonna hover over the gap. And I say we're early. It's like 11 p.m. That's a perfectly good time to be winding down a stream. You know, we started a little late. I do need to end more streams before like midnight or so. You know, aim for a reasonable 2 to 3 hours for some of these streams. And hell, maybe that'll even make the VODs more watchable, you know? I do wonder, like, yeah, I know I'm putting up the VODs on YouTube and shit, but when they're like 4 hours, 5 hours long, 7 hours long, are they really watchable? Therein lies, like, the real debate, I guess. It's a nice song. And it's over. Prologue music is this one. How many? We got 2 left? 2 left. We don't have cake, so... But we can make cake if we really wanted to. By the time we make cake, we'll have... Yeah, we only need 1 more. We're not gonna make cake. There was also, geez, I was just thinking there was something else we could do. Yeah, I don't have cake for him. Oh, we can go into the next world, the last world that we haven't been in tonight. We can go to chapter 6 now. We got all the seeds. But, kinda looks like we won't be going there. I mean, I could poke the head in, see if there's any, like, quick things I could check. That might just be a good idea, you know? Just so that we're, like, making sure that if we can find, like, if we can find, like, Watt or something, we can go into that boss battle with Watt. But also, Watt could be in one of the 2-3 checks at Bowser's Castle. You know, at Peach's Castle, specifically. Okay. You know, I'll say one more thing, by the way, off topic. Not that there is a topic. Another thing about the whole, there it is, the 70th. Let's check these ones now. Bullshit. We have all 70 of them. All 70 stars are in our possession. We can go finish right now, if we so please. But, you know, I'll tell you, I would like if I could get P down jump. P down jump, just to be able to, like, do damage through Bowser's defense. If I could get that and maybe, like, one other badge. And I'm like, what? I would be really happy. So, here's what I'm thinking. Let's go to the fortune teller shop, see if she can tell us anything about any items that we don't have. And we have like 50 coins to spend on this. Okay, so we can't ask for information. We can ask for key item, but that's going to include letters. We'll do that once. I don't need a bean. Okay, you know what? Let's go badge. I want badges. Okay, that's not one that I really want. Do badge again. See if I get the P down jump. It's the same one. God damn, I hate her. I hate how she gives the same fucking... You spend 20 coins and you get the same reading. It sucks. God damn it. If I had one suggestion for the Paper Mario Randomizer team, make it so that the hint system doesn't give you the same hint over and over again. And also, don't tell me about letters if I don't have them included in like the pool to like letter rewards and all that. Don't tell me about those things, you know? They're not really all that relevant to me. There's still one place left before we go into the Bowser's Castle, which is the store in Star Heaven. Maybe that store has our items. Has like water or something. And we'd have to sell like a honey shroom or something. That's fine. I'm probably not going to need it. I would sell anything, any item in my inventory in order to get Watt, if that was an option. I see fertile soil, but no Watt. Oh well. Let's head to Bowser's Castle then. And this will be a boss rush Bowser's Castle, so it's not full length. All we have to do is beat a number of boss fights, which, you know, I'll say, at the very least, we got Spike Shield. So, you know, if nothing else, that's gonna let us jump on the guy, on Mr. Koopa. Power Quake, Mega Quake is the right one there. Yes. And otherwise, I think we're good. Actually, I guess... Fuck, I have, like, tons of... No, I have 3 available. Still, Happy Heart, and, P down, D up. Damage dodge. I like the other one. I like P up, D down. I don't like getting less power. If you ask me, it's always worth it to get as much power as possible in all circumstances. All right. Well, we are off to Bowser now. So, we have done the main part of this thing, the Star Hunt thing. I guess we're going for Bombette for these coming fights. Whatever. This is obviously a boss rush Bowser setup, you know, in the way that the randomizer does. So we're starting off in this here hallway, and all we have to do is fight, like, the Duple Ghosts. We have to fight, look at that, he starts dupled now. It's nice. I saw that the other day during, like, someone else was streaming Randomizer, and I watched a little bit of that. We did a raid. Monday's raid, that's right, it was Monday's raid. Was another person playing Paper Mario Randomizer. Though we were playing Hat in Time that night. Despite that. Yeah. The Mega Bomb because it's cheaper. But saw that then. Let me talk my opinions. Let me say what I'm thinking about this whole like Power Star Hunt mode. I'm a little bit underwhelmed by it. As a objective, it feels too easy to get stars, right? To get all the stars. I know we did only go for 70, which is just over half. So really, you just have to check over half the places in the game. But obviously, like maybe there's like a sweet spot to like, oh, you basically have to do the whole game, but not like every check, right? Which would be something like maybe 110 stars, maybe 100 stars would go a bit longer. But end of the day, we're now in the end game. We've done 70, and we've gotten 0 star spirits. We have the ability to do 0 star spirits. We were in go mode even before we got a single star spirit. That just feels so wrong. There's also a lot of partners we didn't get because, you know, the game didn't require us to get them to get to the threshold I set. Which, you know, maybe it is down to me setting a too low threshold, but I don't know that 90 would be that much better, you know. There were definitely like a bunch in stores that I could have gotten, you know, with if I had just like started spending money on it, right? If I had started going like, okay, if I started like selling off the items I collected rather than just throwing them away, and then turning around and buying up all the stars, I could probably have another 10, 20 by now, and, you know, do 90 stars, which would be 3/4 of the stars. As a later mode, I feel like... Okay, you know what? Here's what I'll say. Time-wise, this is probably a lot more predictable than just saying, like, you know, number of star spirits, right? Because if this had been 1 star spirit, it maybe would have taken, like, let's see, how much would I need for each chapter to finish? I would need 1 fortress key. I would need one key for chapter 1. I would need 1 key for chapter 2. For chapter 3, I need 1 key. For chapter 4, I need you know what? I need watts, and I also need to bake a cake, which I can do. So I just need watt really. So 1 thing for chapter 4. For chapter 5, I need sushi. I need the mega hammer. And I need the thing. So I need 3 for chapter 5. Need 1, 2, 3 things for chapter 6. And I need 1, 2, 3 things for chapter 7. So like I'm 1 away in 4 chapters. Which is to say, like, yeah, if we continue adventuring it wouldn't be that much longer until we found, like, the missing ingredient, the missing thing. So 1 Star Spirit would probably be about 2.5 hours, maybe, all told. Maybe 2:45. God damn it, Well, it came out of a red block, so it couldn't have been a real one. Come to think of it. I need to heal before I go into the boss fight. I think there's some validity to saying, like, this is a mode with a more predictable length. You know, it's not gonna go really long. It's not gonna go really short. It's gonna be about the same every time you play it. But I kind of think that makes it less exciting, you know, and more flat. You know, and it also means that you're just never finishing things off, which I find very unsatisfying. I know that's like, maybe for a speedrunner, right? For that speedrunner mindset. You get the opportunity to skip something, you're like, oh shit, this is, I'm happier than a pig in shit, you know? Like, oh, we don't have to do that? That's great, I didn't want to do that in the first place. But, you know, look, I am at heart casual, and I want to do the things that I find fun. And, you know, I want to collect the stuff, I want to beat the bosses, I want to find my way into finishing every chapter, if possible. Nothing up there? Oh, it's just a thing. And that's why typically when I play this, like, if I do like a thing of this, like off stream or something, you know, with all the time in the world, I'll do the full 7 Star Spirits, and you know, take all the time that takes, usually around 5 or 6 hours. Not exactly ideal for a Thursday stream, to be clear. Which is why, you know, if I did it on a Thursday, I'd probably do like 1 Star Spirit, 2 Star Spirit, 3 Star Spirit. Which, you know, hey, again, we are 1 away from 4. So, not only would 1 Star Spirit maybe take like 3 hours, maybe even 2 or 3 would just take a little bit longer. Just long enough to finish those things off, get back into go mode, and go from there. I didn't heal, did I? Oh well. I have healing items that I can pop out. Oh, good, I did heal, okay. I'm not exactly happy with the level of damage we're doing to him. You know, given that I have to spend... Wait, Bombette does 6? I thought Bombette did 5. From the bomb. And Watt does 5. Huh. Did that change? Why would it change? That's silly. I'm missing my action command somehow. Go figure. I think if I were to do this again, I would stick with the normal. Finishing this off without finishing a single Star Spirit, without a single star move to my name, other than that one, feels just so unsatisfying and feels so weird. I guess I should look in to see like what other people made of it. You know, if the reception is good or whatever. I know it really doesn't matter what other people think. Well, I say that! That's a thing to say, huh? I don't mean... I know that, like... You should let your opinion, like, stand, right? You shouldn't be like, did you guys like it? Oh, then I like it too, you know? That's not what it is. I'm just curious, like, how is this being received? Are they happy with how it plays out? I mean, there's not really that many ways to change it. You know, like, you can't just have the power stars be in, like, I mean, I guess there's the thing that, like, I think, like, some other randomizers do. There we go. There's power jump. Some other randomizers do where they hide, they make it so that you can randomize the collectibles, the main collectibles, anywhere into the world. So, like, you could have it so that, like, oh, Scholar is just in a chest or something, you know? And, oh, I found Scholar, you know, the Star Spirit of World 3, rather than being randomized to a boss location. You could have items behind the boss location. You know what? I'll say. If I had one comment, it'd be like, there should probably be... It'd be cool if there was, like, some sort of bias built into the system wherein, I'm gonna go with a hammer because that'll do... That's easier to time, you know? And also, all you need to do is 5. It'd be cool if there was some built-in bias. It'd be cool if there was some built-in bias to the system wherein, like, oh, you know, a major item will be behind every boss fight, right? So you do a boss fight, you know it's worth it, you know that you'll probably have to do a boss fight to get, like, the critical path done. Even if the Star Spirits themselves are, like, randomly hidden, you might need whatever is behind... You'll probably need whatever is behind each boss. Or, like, enough of the bosses. Or, like, some of the bosses. I guess that's the thing of, like, you know, this game... In Zelda, with every boss, there's a heart container, and that's randomized very easily, right? Whereas in this game, when you beat a boss, all you get is the Star Spirit, which they're just swapped amongst themselves, so it's not really all that random. Also, this music. I have to check my settings because I swear to you, I set it to be like vibes mood appropriate. And this is not. Okay, this is mood appropriate. The previous song was not mood appropriate. And this is a good song too, so sure, whatever. You know what? That works. I think going forward on another topic, I'll lay off the music randomization. I feel like mostly what that did is make me go like, that ain't right. Oh, he has more defense now. Or maybe he didn't have defense in the first place. So against this phase of Bowser, Bombette does 5. Okay. Didn't realize that. I guess I don't think that much about the first hallway Bowser, such that I'm not really that worried about, like, dealing with him efficiently. I'm a little concerned right now, considering that, you know, my health is not in a good way, you know? I'm gonna leave the rest of the cards for tomorrow. I'll say I do have more cards in store, but oh, you know what? This is. Oh, you know what? Oh wait, wow. Oh fuck. I was about to say like, oh shit, yeah, the Twink fight, but yeah, they just fucking skip it out right now. That's great. Previously, they made it so that you just had to do like one prey and one attack. But this is even better. All you have to do is just watch a cutscene. Alright, I was gonna pull a card there, but I'm gonna save the rest for tomorrow. And honestly, I'm probably gonna reuse a lot of cards anyhow. With streams back to back like this, you know, one day after the next, there's not really enough time to think of like, you know, a whole mess of new cards. Though I'll try to add some new ones as well. You know, in addition. I'm paying out the nose to get 5 damage. God damn it, I wish I had Watts. who just does 5 damage for free. I guess I don't really have anything I can spend my money on, my attack on. So we're just sort of limited to this. I wonder if it's like more responsive because I have it on high priority. That's probably not it. I'm just fucking up. I guess the other thing about like a Paper Mario thing is you got all the timing, the action commands, making the battles, you know, engaging. I feel like for me, that's not the most important aspect, you know? The most important aspect is like tactical decisions and like low numbers that make the math easy enough to do. You know, it's napkin math, in other words. Make the math into napkin math, which is the easiest kind of math, coincidentally. I'm gonna take an Ultra Shroom Night now. Heal up, you know? So long as you got that, I think you're good. I don't even know you need any sort of action command timing minigame system. Though, if you were to do one, you could do a lot more intricate, you know? You could do ones that were a lot more intricate, you know? Like, think about, like, Undertale, right? I think of, like, Undertale as, like, the ultimate battle micro minigame thing. Where, like, each battle consists of a lot of different, like, little micro games that you're just, like, doing one after another, and they're delivering jokes through the micro games. It's just a good way to do that. And, you know, I look forward to the next one of those very, very, very much. That one is more of a micro game on defense. There's not really... Well, I suppose all the fights are entirely mini games in that one. Damn it. These fucking heals. Usually, with P down D, we'd be doing literally twice as much damage. God damn it. Well, that's not true. If we had both boots, both P up, D down, and all that, we'd be doing double as much damage. Like, optimally. I guess also there's the bonus damage as well, which I'm not factoring in. I'm also just fucking up repeatedly. God damn it. That is not helping. Oh, well. I could switch over to hammers. But that would do, what, 4 damage per? It does 5 damage on the last guy, and he has 1 defense, so it would do 4. It's the same, pretty much the same. And it's slower to boot. God damn it. The partner's like most of our damage here. Plus Zap Tap. I mean, it's not most of our damage. Actually, Mario's most damage. So long as I get the action command right. Seems unfair that that she don't get a turn right now. Like after she get up, you know. Whatever. I'll say this is as hard as this fight has been for me in some time. Like usually usually with this the randomizer with the regular mode, it's after a whole lot more exploring. In which I found like more useful items, maybe even, you know, that one badge. Hit that move. I guess this one's pretty bad too, really, because it's giving me, like, enough damage where I need to do another Ultra Mushroom thing. That's invincible, okay. No, hey, if he wants to waste a turn, I'll waste a turn with him, and I'll give Bombette a chance to recover. I heard during the Paper Mario Randomizer, the Paper Mario Run, not Randomizer at all, last night, that there's like a 2-frame window to block the second hit, and because it overlaps a little bit with the first hit, well, because it's supposed to have a 3-frame window, but it sort of overlaps with the first hit, so it's more like a 2-frame window, which makes it harder to do. I don't think I've consistently protected my partner, like, ever. I'm gonna do a Ultra Mushroom. I don't think I've eaten this many Ultra Mushrooms in a single fight before. Don't usually eat them. Just sort of stockpile them and never use them. I'll say this for this mode. Fuck you. Getting me here at this state, you know, this early in the game, sure makes things a whole lot harder on Bowser. Even if I do have max stats and all the, you know, all the badge capacity in the world. Wave coming. Nope. Invulnerability. Mash in the butt. I gotta hit my action commands right here. There we go. That's what I want to see. Ah. God. Ah. You know what's... well, actually, I was about to say Wada's immune, but no, that's lightning she's immune to. She's immune to lightning, which I think the first Bowser might use against your partner. But she's not immune to that thing. So, you know, Wat wouldn't do that much for us, honestly. No. We should just do the thing. Just get it done. Just fight the guy. He'll be over in a minute. 16 health left. Why? This could be done in like 2 turns if we're lucky, and he doesn't heal. If we do our action commands right and he doesn't heal, this could be. Well, this could still be it. God damn it! Oh, that's lightning. Good, okay. I thought he was healing. We got it. Do I have any attack things that'll just do like a bunch of damage? Not really. I threw out the Thunder Rage. Okay. Well, we'll just get in a little extra damage, and then Bombette, go ahead and finish the job. Whew. I'll say this, getting here earlier than I usually would do, because I was not required to, like, find like, more stuff, go more places, made that battle a lot tougher than usual. Than previous times, I've even done, like, 1 star or 3 star. I feel like 3 star is like as low as I want to go. 1 star kind of feels unsatisfying. But that's the thing, though. 1 star feels unsatisfying. This was basically 0 star, even though it was actually 70 stars. More stars than ever. Felt a bit unsatisfying to me. But hey, oh, time. Fuck. Wasn't thinking about that. Well, bam. So that was 2.5 hours, just about. Little lower, say 2:36, maybe 10 seconds under, maybe 5 seconds, maybe not. I guess the time in this, because there's no prologue, who skips the prologue, it would be when the credits hit, when you see Luigi. Well, final thoughts. As a mode, I feel like it's kind of disappointing. Maybe it's just because I didn't put in enough stars, but you know, with this mode, you don't really have to do star spirits or fight bosses or really complete levels. You know, we didn't even get enough items to complete 1 level, even though 4 of them were like 1 item away if you look into it, and yet we're done. You know, and yet we finished. You know, and even if we had the option to do them, we wouldn't need to, and we wouldn't really get much out of it. You know, there'd be like, there's not that many checks that are hidden behind the dungeons, behind the star spirits getting them, which kind of makes the mode feel anticlimactic. I can't imagine if I had set it to like just end after you get enough stars. Like, to me, that would be the ultimate anticlimax. Maybe this mode is more fun if you're like playing by like more unforgiving rules, but you're a more casual player, right? Because this won't require you, if you set it up to not do Bowser, for instance, this wouldn't require you to do a very, very hard boss fight on like 5 health or whatever you start with, you know, 10 health. Maybe you give yourself 20 health to begin with, if you're not feeling so generous. I don't know. I think the one thing I think for sure is it's not for me. I feel a huge sense of anticlimax ending this here with 0 star spirits collected, couple of partners still missing in action. We didn't get the hammer upgrade, the last hammer upgrade. To be fair, we could have maybe done 1 star spirit or 2 star spirit or 3 star spirits without those things, but the more star spirits you do, the more likely you are to run across all those things, and, you know, for the critical path, to be longer and more elaborate. That kind of just felt like it played the whole thing for us. Maybe if we had done more stars rather than just 70, but I feel like if you started needing every star, it'd get annoying fast when it's like, oh, I missed a bush. This bush has a thing in it. Fuck. Well, didn't realize that. And then you'd be like looking for a single bush every time you did the mode. You need to be at least like 100. I think maybe 100 is a better middle ground, where you would have to probably finish a couple of chapters before you got there. But, you know, I do think if we had sold items and really like pushed for it, we could have gotten there earlier. We could have gotten to that many stars earlier. And we still could, you know. And therefore, we could have gotten 80 with the same amount of time, with the same amount of collection level, except that we would have fewer, you know, big items going into the end game. All right. That being that, how about we do a raid, do the whole business, do the 9, the whole 9, you know, do the 9. That's a new thing. No one's ever said that before. What is GDQ playing right now? Let me go out into my thing and look, you know, into what. When you do raid a channel, it doesn't tell you what they're actually playing. It doesn't show the game. under it. Talk shows and podcasts. Well, that's unhelpful. Is it the Bread Bull recap? Oh, next up is the Red Bull Daily Recap. That was in the middle of the block last night too that I watched. Well, how do y'all feel about Red Bull? I'm not wild about Red Bull, but it is just pretty simple to just raid GDQ considering it's a good cause, and I'm gonna watch a bunch more of it going forward. But let me see who else is online. Regs is playing Diablo 4. Bleep Regs. He's playing some game we did a raid in. I forget context there. Saberside. Oh, it's playing Sea of Thieves. That's interesting. What is Fashishi playing? Let's go with Saberside. That sounds fine. We'll do a GDQ raid tomorrow. Actually, no. There's a... Team Kayla is doing a big party stream tomorrow, Friday. We'll probably do the raid on Kayla. It's the start of her summer. She's a teacher, so she's... You know, it's the start of her time off, so... Start of a big season of streaming, potentially. Though last year, she didn't do a lot of streaming after that point. So, you know, we'll see, tentatively. You know, whatever she wants to do is cool. And, big event streams are always fun. I'm gonna send you to Saberside. I'm gonna pull the stream up in my, on my phone. And let me pull up the schedule. Pull up the schedule here. Ooh, turn down the volume. Pull up the schedule. There it is. I'll be back tomorrow with viewer levels around 6 p.m. Like I said earlier, that stream will involve uploading the level as well, which will be fun, I guess. And hey, once it's up, you can try it for yourself and give me feedback in real time. That'd be fun. There's also Majora's Mask next week, Thursday, and Hat in Time on Mondays. And at some points, maybe we'll like try. If I end up doing Street Fighter 6, maybe I'll stream trying that out for the first time. All right, folks, I will see y'all next time. Looks like the raid's already gone ahead. But I'm so close. We're so close to the ending here. We might as well just see what that looks like. Look at that. It's the ending. Wow. I will see y'all on I will see y'all on tomorrow, Friday, 6 p.m. Central. Upload a level, viewer levels. Will be a whole thing. Bye, folks. Specifically, the folks watching the VOD because everyone else is already gone. That's fine. Bye, VOD people.